Y'all know who it is. Y'all know what we're about to do. It is the morning run. It's Deuce the Scoop. It's Big Dog Chico. It's yours truly, Uncle Neely. Ralphie retires. 48 hours of Georgia Tech. And K Salt is QB1. It's the morning run.
Time to wake up, Lucky Charms. Y'all know what it is. It's the morning
Wake
run.
up in the morning, get your Lucky Charms cereal.
Big Dog Chico, Uncle Neely, Deuce the Scoop. We're live and in effect. Got you covered from across the nation, Atlanta to Boulder to Hawaii. We're going to give you guys the latest and greatest in the news update. Shout out to Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. Also have some news from the NFL. And as Uncle Neely just said, Ralphie retiring. We're going to get right into it right here on this hump day, 48 hours away from Georgia Tech. Dukes, we're going to get an offensive update from Tech, but you got a look on your face that we got to address. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm all right. Why you say wake up? Where you get that? What's that quote from?
What, wake up? Wake up, Lucky
Lucky
Charms?
Charms. Yeah, where's that quote from?
It's from the movie when Terry Crews went in there and caught Cat Williams in the bathroom and he said, wake your ass up, Lucky Charms. You don't remember that? Come on, dog.
From the Friday, one of them Friday movies
Yeah. Friday
Yeah, I
after next.
know. I'm just talking about what was going on.
yeah.
They got
It's,
too
it's,
far now, big
it's,
bud.
it's amazing. That's on Chico mind this morning, ain't it?
Y'all,
It's time to wake up, dog.
In
It's
the
time to wake up.
words of P Diddy, take that, take that, take that.
We quote Diddy Bop?
You know, you started it with the wake up Lucky Charms.
Man, well, let's start quoting Coach Prime then. How about that? We quote Coach Prime from the presser yesterday. Let's get into that. Uncle Neely was right there. Dukes of Scoop was in the building, asked a nice question. Got a Coach Prime response. He mentioned Lil Wayne. He mentioned Keith Sweat. Let's get into that, man. Some of the comments from Coach Prime. You can start with Uncle Neely or Dukes. Y'all go right ahead.
I yield to Dukes, man. I yield to Dukes.
nah, I mean, Coach Prime just one of a kind, right? They made one, broke the mold, and he 1,000% was able to blend culture and football and life together. What people missed was the peace treaty between Kendrick and Drake that he threw out there. Like,
Yeah.
hey, man, let's just get along, man. He did a lot in that little quote. Shout out to Coach Prime. Is always a great interview, always a great press conference. But yeah, I think what I thought was the coolest thing is when he just came in and was just like, hey, look, K Salt the quarterback, y'all already knew that. Next, everybody, now imagine how many people had that on their list to ask about, how many questions they were going to be asking and probing questions. Coach Prime like, look, y'all already knew that. So okay, now next, what we talking about? I thought that was a super cool way to handle that. Something that a lot of people was just going to, how many articles and how many videos have been made about that quarterback battle in the offseason, and for it to come to a head that quickly, people had to go, people just had to move on to the next subject. And I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chico Dukes. I don't know if y'all remember when y'all little kids, but one of the worst things you can do is slowly peel that band-aid off. You got to
Mm-hmm.
snatch that band-aid off, man. You just got to go ahead and say, look, here it is, shoot.
Yeah.
You got to rapidly pull that tooth. You can't just sit there. And so when coach came in and just set the tone, like, look, hey, this is QB1. We're going with the more experienced guy. And I tell you what, we hope for. We hope that we can play such a game in such a winning and dominant fashion that you get to see both of them, or maybe even situational see both of them, because we have two excellent quarterbacks, but only one can go out there first. And so why would we not go with the one who has been there, done that, who has led a team out the tunnel in the collegiate atmosphere, done it successfully at a high level. So let's go with the veteran guy, for this opener. And as he said to the press, I think it was well known, one of the worst kept secrets that people saw it trending that way. Whether you watch the morning run and see other productions such as Well Off or Reach the People, Shot at Those Guys, or even the Schools Network, it was just something that you saw as we got closer and closer. A decision will be officially announced, but all the indicators, at least the past 2 weeks of camp, have been leaning toward K Salt to get that job. So It's not like we're gonna sit here and question the decision, like we're gonna sit here and say it's the wrong decision. We agree with this. Dukes, you and I have talked before. Chico, you talking about before that in these kind of situations, in the absence of evidence, you have to go with the guy who's been there, done that, who has the veteran leadership, and who's situationally played college ball at this level. Because no matter how dominant you have been at the high school level, and shout out to Juju for all he accomplished high school, this is still up a notch. And so
Yeah.
you have to go with that experience for week one.
Yeah, proven dual threat quarterback Caden Salter can pose a threat for that Georgia Tech defense. Started over 29 games and a Fiesta Bowl appearance. So he has that experience, like Coach and Dukes is saying right there. As we have Adam coming in the back, also we'll bring him in and get his thoughts on this also, and bring in kind of like a history lesson, with that. But I definitely like what Case Salter can do, and with that run game. Like I said before, I think we'll be at the top of the Big 12 because of his running ability and that offensive line and the running backs that we have back there. So before we move on, though, we could talk about the buff that's in the league. If you want to go there.
Yeah, let's do it. It's been announced Tuesday was official cut day for the NFL to go down to your 53-man rosters, and you had several buffs who have been confirmed that they are officially on the team. There's even been a couple of practice squad announcements as well. So, it just shows you once again. You look at the draft, Chico Dukes, and for Colorado to have the most receivers taken in the draft, and then you look at the undrafted free agents that went in, and then when the dust settles after camp, after the OTAs, after rookie mini camps, after mandatory OTAs, and after full camp, that you have guys who've actually made that 53-man roster. And it just goes back to the NFL training that they get here in Colorado. They know about meeting times, practice times. They know about field time and what to do, et cetera, et cetera. So no surprise to me that you had that many guys actually stick on rosters and land. And some of the ones like a Cameron Silverman Craig, and you see that Will Shepherd in Green Bay has already been added their practice squad. It won't be long before they're picked up.
Absolutely, Dukes. Hey, who is somebody you might be most surprised about, Dukes, that either made the roster or didn't make a roster?
Colorado only.
Yeah, let's go Colorado.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I tell you what I will say. Somebody who I somebody that I would say probably the least surprised that made it would probably that was undrafted was BJ Green. When seeing what he did in the preseason and just seeing his whole pedigree, he was just an undersized guy, but the baller was always there. He may have not had the NFL measurables, but when you talk about skill set, even going back to from Atlanta, being in Atlanta, like BJ Green always been one of them. And it was always about finding somebody who was going to be able to take advantage of what he does well, which is get to the quarterback from a position of leverage. And so you don't have to be 6'5" if you can get to the quarterback. I thought he was someone who, if I were to gamble on somebody, and we know when it comes to undrafted free agents, a lot of times guys who can play in the trenches have a leg up on skilled guys, and a lot of times. So I think BJ Green, I look for him to have a long career. I think what he has is special, and I think he'll continue to show that as he flourishes in the NFL.
I like that, Dukes. When the way that Chico brilliantly posed that question, if you had to say someone, had the odds tremendously stacked against him from a metric standpoint, it would have been BJ. But then if you know BJ and what he was doing in college in Arizona, then transferring to Colorado, it's no surprise that he rose to the occasion. You saw former D-line coach here, D. Lou, and even current pass rush coordinator Warren Sapp pouring into him last year, and the success that he had on the field. And so there's one thing that you have these metrics that it's like, okay, we need the guy to be this height, this weight, and this particular person is under those things. But when you watch him prepare and watch him play, then that's when it becomes not a surprise that he was one of the ones that had the odds against him that made it. Because it's much like the staff here say, like Rob Livingston would say last year, there's a couple of these guys, if they can just get to camp, they're going to stick because of their ethic, their drive, and their effort. Metrics be damned, when you see them perform, you're going to want to keep them around.
Absolutely, man. You kind of hinted on that too in previous shows, saying that once a guy like BJ gets in the camp, it's going to be hard to let him go too. So, and then for the guys who did get cut, it's still a chance they can get picked up later on, whether they go to another team or to a practice squad. And you can't forget about the other leagues out there also too. So you still can get paid to make money.
One thing about that practice squad, well, I was gonna say real quick, it's starting at 13,000 a week.
Mm-hmm. Just got to get on there and continue to ball out. Don't get comfortable. Yeah.
And for the most part, you'll see guys like what happened with Will Shepherd in Green Bay, and what possibly could happen with Cameron Silver and Craig is they end up staying right where they are on that practice squad, and then other teams can then claim them. So I would not be surprised, that all of our guys end up getting picked up either by their current people that waived them for the P squad, or moving on to another team, because they just bring that much talent, that much to the table. They have tremendous value and tremendous upside. So, and let me tell you this, as Deuce indicated, that's a nice chunk of change, man.
Yes, indeed.
You live a life greater than 95% of America off that.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm. So the official number is, if you're a rookie, a first year or a second year, is 240,000. And then I think if you it's right at 400,000 if you get practice squad veteran status after that 2 year. So these boys, man, look, $250,000. Hello.
But what I want to say about that $250,000, Dukes, and you articulated earlier, when you look at that $250,000 for the amount of time that you're making it over, it's 52 weeks of the year. Yeah. So
making a lot of damn money, dog. Let's bring in somebody else who could bring some value to the show.
I thought you were going to say, let's bring in somebody else and make a lot of money. Adam got that money.
That too. That fist. Probably even more. Big money. Welcome Big Money to the show.
Like Coming to America, Chico, when they say he got his own money, he got his own money.
If you saw my bank account, you would not be saying that, Neely.
Hey, man, how you doing, Adam?
I'm doing great. Yeah. I got to know, though, Dukes was in Boulder yesterday. It looks like you're back in Atlanta now.
Mm-hmm.
You're a ninja, dude. Like, I didn't even know you were in that press conference until you asked the question. And now you're back.
Call me a samurai.
Like Bruce Lee. Come on. Keep your head out of the gutters. Keep your head out of the gutters.
Oh, I can't wait to clip that. I cannot wait to clip that.
Hey, my bad. Hey, Adam, you know I'm giving you a hard time, baby. But no, absolutely, man. Look,
I need Duke's inhaler. I can't.
In text messages, oh my gosh. Neil is something totally different in text messages. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's start over. Rewind.
You're swift in and out of places. That's all I'm saying here.
Hey, look, Adam, they gave me a hard time. They said, dude, you got to be yourself. Like, last time, 24/7 sports. And so we to Adam, you got the real Dukes today. So nice to meet you. Same guy you see off the camera. But no, Adam, to your point, man, sometimes it don't take my favorite quote is, it don't take all day to do nothing, man. You get in, get out, and I knew I see you today. So man,
nice.
Yeah. So Adam, if I could start,
Dukes, if you don't mind, one second.
Go ahead.
Let me set the stage, because people may not have picked up on the pattern. Adam who joins us every other Wednesday. So today is Wednesday on the morning run. And so get used to that beautiful bald head with the smooth beard. He uses Uncle Neil's beard oil, by the way. And so get used to seeing his presence here on Wednesdays every other week to break down not only what's going on in Colorado football, but it'll always be the day after Coach Prime's presser. So we'll get into that. Adam, now Dukes, there you go.
Adam, so yesterday's press conference, I would say main takeaways from you when you talk, and for someone who's been in Colorado so long, what's this year, this iteration of Colorado's team, this press conference, what did you take from that yesterday in comparison to previous years?
Well, in the past, there's always been that optimism leading up to the season, even in 2022 when they were really bad, right? So you have to sift through a lot of stuff. One of the things that I give Coach Prime credit for is that he's pretty honest about his program. And so when he says at media days back early during camp that the O-line is really standing out. Honestly, with a lot of coaches, you're okay, like, is that real? With him, like, you actually, that's the truth. Like, he's not going to say it if he doesn't. And even yesterday, the question I posed to him was about that cornerback spot opposite DJ McKinney. And I just asked how confident he is in Teion Parks and or RJ Johnson. And he said, look, like, I'm confident in those guys, but the bright lights are coming. And so I think just the way he poses things in press conferences allows you to have a better feel for this team, as opposed to trying to cut through a lot of the coach talk, a lot of the coach speak. And so I do appreciate that. This preseason seems like, from all our expectations going into preseason, has lived up to them, which is everything you'd want if you're covering a program. Just from, it's kind of like validating all those thoughts you had with the personnel coming in, with the groupings and all that in the coaching staff throughout the offseason. And there weren't really big surprises, I don't feel like, this preseason. Maybe a guy here or there, but generally it's kind of the way we expected it to pan out. And so, no, I appreciate those press conference settings with Coach Prime, because he keeps you on your toes, and he keeps it real.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love how he will start answering the question before the questioner has completed the question. You know, it's almost like buzzing in on Family Feud. He just like, I'm ready to answer this now. Let's go. Adam, I want to flip from actual X's and O's of football for a second and talk about like fan experience, particularly relative to this announcement of the retirement of Ralphie. You know, mascots matter, man. It gets like energy into the crowd, whether you got, you know, Renegade coming out at Tallahassee, Doak Campbell Field, or touching the banner at Michigan, or play like a champion at Notre Dame. What's it going to mean starting this season off without Ralphie? Although the new one is being trained, there's no expectation anytime soon to have the next Ralphie at the football games. What's the impact of that, and what's the prognosis going forward?
Well, first off, God love Ralphie 6, Ember. She was just not built for this, right? And I give credit to the Ralphie team and for the athletic department for realizing late last season that okay, we've given it the old college try, as they say, and it just isn't working out. And I think I understand the frustration from fans that if they want to bring their young kid out to Folsom Field on Friday, and they know that's the one thing the kid's going to glom onto is being able to watch Ralphie run, that they're frustrated that's not going to happen. But you got to look at the logistics of this thing. This is not training a dog. This is training an animal that if you go into wild parks and mess with it, is going to mess you up. So you have to really be cautious with this. And so I applaud CU for making this change. And I understand the frustration, but back in 2020, when we were really struggling for content because there weren't football games being played, I did a whole 5-part series on the Ralphie series, talking with Taylor Stratton and Colton Bear, the assistant Ralphie program manager. And they had me talk to like 4 or 5 handlers. This is like a really, really difficult thing they're tasked to do. And they're so dedicated. And so I hate to kind of see some of the negativity that's out there, just not really knowing that this is not, again, you know, there are ways to train a buffalo, but it takes a lot of time because they're just not instinctively built that way. Yeah. And so I hope we see Ralphie 7 at some point this season. It sounds like the train's been going well, and it sounds like this buffalo is going to be a little bit more ready to charge out that gate based on what I've heard. And so just give it some time. And the good, I think I would be more frustrated as a Colorado fan if they just were not willing to punt on Ralphie 6 after the Alamo Bowl. They had to do that, and they did that. And now we're going to see better performances. You might just have to wait a little while.
Yeah, you know, I came here with Coach Prime, as you know, 2 seasons ago, excited about, man, I can't wait to see this Ralphie thing. Like, I've never seen on TV, but never in person. And I witnessed like the decline of the run over the past 2 seasons. Like, Ralphie would start off in the back of the end zone, then moved up into the end zone, then moved about to the 5-yard line, then moved about the 10-yard line. And the enthusiasm of the run was just dropping off with her, you know, game after game. And so I'm with you, Adam. I think ultimately the right decision was made. I appreciated your article on Buffalo Stampede. Like, I didn't know that she was orphaned and raised by a cow and had been in a wildfire and adopted and all that background story. So what a wonderful life to now end up on this private, secluded, no one knows where it is ranch to live out your days. So it worked while
Yeah,
it
I mean,
worked.
it was a story everybody wanted to work, right? Because it was like you're rescuing this buffalo from Nebraska, the worst place in the minds of Buffalo's fans, and you've rescued her from this fire, and she's going to ball out, and it just didn't happen. And I think some of that early lifestyle stuff. I mean, she was orphaned. It's not this is like a wild animal. That's got to. You talk about your kids, if they have bad parents, it's going to mess them up when they're older. So I don't know how that translates to a bison and a buffalo in their mindset, but this one was kind of up against it from the beginning, I guess is what I'm trying to get to.
Look at Duke's face, Duke's.
Man, had no idea.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to Ralphie, man. Got it out the mud. One of us. Got it out the mud. Like, straight up.
A ninja.
Ralphie from Nebraska.
Yeah. The illest buffalo in Nebraska.
There you go.
Yeah, y'all remember that from? You remember that from? What was that? Belly.
Belly, yeah.
Yeah, Belly.
And yes to the chat for those who did not know, Ralphie is a female, has been a female. And before we pivot, Adam, if you can, like, I think this is one of the shorter windows historically. Like, most of the Ralphies have been 8-10 years or so, and this was relative. So some people are saying, "Oh, she was old," and by comparison, wasn't that old to past Ralphies.
No, yeah, actually, yeah, her 4-year run was by far the shortest. 10 years, I believe, was the shortest. I go look back at my article, but I think it was a decade for all those previous Ralphies. And again, I think COVID too, and just there were a lot of things at play here with this Ralphie. And it's frustrating that she's not going to be out there on Friday. But come on, let's use our brains and realize this is a difficult endeavor to get this live animal out there, and they'll get it done, I think, by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're going out of here to Adam. We quote you now. This is live. You anticipate a Ralphie this year?
That's up to Ralphie 7, but if the training continues, based on what we've heard, I think it would not surprise me one bit if we see some Ralphie runs this year.
But like Adam said, they're not training a dog.
No, that's a big old thing, man.
This is a wild animal, basically. It's not a domesticated animal, right? This is
Shout out to Ralphie, man.
Yeah, whether Ralphie is out there running or not, the team will still be running out, and Coach Prime will be leading them out there. So that's still a welcoming sight to see, especially for the fans at Folsom. Sold out crowd right now. Talk to me, Adam, Dukes, Unc. Expectations for the ball game.
Nail biter, tough football game. But you're talking about a rowdy atmosphere in Folsom Field, first game of the season. If you can just contain Haynes King, and I really think Colorado wins this game, but it's not going to be easy by any stretch.
Yeah, I concur with that, Adam. I can't wait to see it. Watching these guys all spring, all summer, fall camp practice against each other. Can't wait to see how this talent truly measures up against opposition in another uniform. But I will tell you this: the reason I'm staying close with the Colorado win is that this team really mirrors our own team. You got a quarterback that can do it with his legs. You got a offensive line. Their head coach was an offensive lineman who played at Georgia Tech, so they've invested in this O-line. They run the ball very well. This is going to be our year to run the ball very well. And they got a deep threat receiver out there they can get the ball to and take the top off with some big plays. So I'm looking forward to this two people with similar styles going into the season. I would say that the Georgia Tech that faced Georgia in all those overtimes, and just much like the Colorado team of last year, when you have the impact of the portal, anywhere from 50 to 60% of these teams have changed. So it's going to be a new look Georgia Tech, a new look Colorado. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I would agree, Uncle Neela. These are two really evenly matched teams. I think it was a great matchup, and you can't ask for a better one to start off the season. I think with Georgia Tech, Berkey does a really good job when you talk about mirroring each other, of getting those guys ready to play. when you look at where Georgia Tech was a few years ago, they were looking for more of a fiery leader. They were looking for someone who was going to be able to get guys ready to play and willing to run through that proverbial wall that everybody talks about. And that's what Georgia Tech is. Right now, the rallying cry is nobody – like they're favored and they're acting like the underdog at this point. They're like, how nobody gives us a chance. Everybody's talking about Colorado. And so they're basically trying to make themselves – they're giving themselves bulletin board material. So at this point, I think it's going to be a good game. They're going to be motivated to come out and run the ball. And I just think it's going to be like what we talk about. What we always say, unstoppable force, immovable object. We'll see who's more conditioned in the fourth quarter. And I think that's the winner of this game. And I think Colorado has the advantage from playing the altitude. And I think right. So I think it'll be a close game. I think a very physical game. It's just a lot of collisions. But I think Colorado comes out on top.
I do too, Dukes. And I say this, Adam and Chico, I want to get y'all's feedback on it as well. You know, I watched that Iowa State, Kansas State game, and they were 2 for 2 on turnovers. But when I looked at the deep dive on it, and it's something that we got to clean up here, being the penalties. You know, the loser of that game had 6 penalties that were pre-snap, and the winner only had 1 penalty. And I think when you have a season opener, everybody comes in with some rust, some jitters. You do all the scrimmaging you want with officials, but there's nothing like live action with officials out there calling a true game. And so I think in this particular instance, after we get past the contrast or the likelihood of these guys mirroring each other, there's also going to come into play who plays the most disciplined, mistake-free ball, and that's who emerges the winner.
I also asked the question, you know, based off of the past with Colorado having problems with running quarterbacks, dual threat quarterbacks, how will we, in my spies in Atlanta and Georgia has been telling me, hey man, Brent Key might be going away from, you know, that power run from Georgia Tech in the past and going like more of an RPO spread offense. How can Colorado be prepared to stop a dual threat quarterback and maybe even a spread offense like we've seen in the past with those quarterbacks who've hurt us?
It's a good thing that Robert Livingston said he's got a plan B, C, and D, right? Because you're going to need that for the season opener. I think that is where you really test your mettle as a coordinator, is that first game when you don't have that prior film to pour over, because anybody can sit in a room for 16 hours and pick up stuff, but to be able to adjust on the fly, that was the number one thing that impressed me the most about Robert Livingston last year. And so, yeah, if that is indeed the case, then you got to assume he's got a plan for it.
Yeah, and Adam, you also have to assume that people see what we see. People saw what we saw. When you look at the deficiencies of this Colorado team last year, it was our inability to consistently stop the run and our lack of conditioning when it got into the deep water of the fourth quarter. And what happened since that time? Coach Prime addressed the issue. You know, you bring in Coach Swayze for strength and conditioning to get these guys in better shape early in the season, which is something I think helped us get through camp relatively injury-free. These guys came to camp in football shape. And I also think with the recruits and revampment of the D-line room, including coaching staff, you now did all that you can do to address that inefficiency and stopping the run. And so you would have to expect if people watch that last game, you know, the last thing we put on tape, BYU, and even our loss up there in Kansas, it was because we couldn't stop the run and with lack of conditioning going late. If those things are fixed, and I believe they are, we're going to be able to really make some noise in the Big 12 and the nation, and start with this Georgia Tech game.
I think when you said talking about Coach Livingston having multiple, having to plan A, B, C, and D, you're going to need it for Georgia Tech, because if Haynes King isn't successful, you'll see Aaron Follow. Aaron Follow has a really familiar history with Julian Lewis, as Julian Lewis was on pace to break his record for the all-time leading passing yards in Georgia. Follow comes from Prince Avenue Christian, same place from BJ Green where he went to school. Follow last year, I think, against NC State. Now he only had like maybe 500-600 yards on the season, but in spot duty, and he went off. He went like 19 for 33, 270 yards, and then had 60 yards rushing and a touchdown. You have to plan for him the same way that Georgia Tech has to plan for Juju. So both D coordinators have their hands full, and I think it's going to be interesting, especially with Coach Prime. I think that was a great chess move the other day too, by him saying, "Hey, you may see Juju." So, and I think if you don't think Georgia Tech was tuned into that, to say, you know what, maybe we need another scout team quarterback. Maybe we need somebody else. Maybe we need another scout team offense. And every time that you can take a bit or a time of practice away to plan for another sort of offense, I think it does well for what you want to do. So I think that the secondary game in this chess match is going to be the backup quarterbacks in the Georgia Tech Colorado game.
I love that, Dukes, and that's part and parcel of why I'm talking about this mirror image of preparing, because the guys on defense get to face two outstanding quarterbacks at practice. Juju is still out there. You saw it yourself. You were practicing the other day. Juju is still out there getting a tremendous amount of reps for a guy that's not QB1 going into a game. And that's so that he can be prepared for those moments and go in when situations change. And it's the same thing Georgia Tech does, and including their running back room. Yes, you have to look out for number one, who's a former wide receiver as well. He is their bell cow. He's their home run runner. But their guy off the bench led the Ivy League in rushing last year, and he's going to come in the game. And so the minute your defensive line or linebackers are keyed in on one running style, here comes another guy, much like we have Micah and Trackhawk. So I can't wait to see this matchup unfold, Adam.
Yeah, no question. It's one of those games, too. I think when you look at the other side of it, with Pat Shurmur going up against a new defensive coordinator, this is going to be a great test to just kind of see his ability within this new personnel grouping. And we've spent so many months talking about listing off all these playmakers. More than anything, I just want to know when and where is this cream going to rise to the crop, going to rise to the top, And I know there's going to be like 3 or 4 guys on Friday, and there's probably going to be 3 or 4 more other guys the following Saturday when they host Delaware State. That's why I can't wait to get into the season, because we've spent all this time talking about these guys. And as I mentioned earlier, Coach Prime talking about when the lights come on, that's when you really find out who's going to be the playmakers. And I just can't wait to see how that hierarchy shakes out here in the coming weeks.
Yeah,
I love that.
I'm excited about the trench matchup. The guys in the trenches, especially their offensive line versus our defensive line. It's reports that they could be starting 2 true freshmen on their offensive line. Not sure about that, but if so, talk about some of the guys, because we have a lot of experience on that defensive line. Talk about how we could take advantage of that versus their, inexperienced offensive line.
Hey, Chico, I want to make sure I get this out there. So the latest depth chart, they're going to start right now as it stands. They're going the 2 freshmen will be backups as it stands,
okay.
But
Good.
they're in it. So some of those have the order, like they're really highly ranked guys, so you could see them. So in that first 7, it could be 5. They could be in that first 7, but I believe the first 5 will be in the latest depth chart, all veteran guys. I want to make sure I put that out there.
Okay, good deal.
I appreciate the info. And Dukes, with that in mind, Adam, as well, when I look at what we have versus what we'll be facing, you have this unknown thing, right? Because of the transfer portal, and yet to see guys play together as a unit, et cetera, et cetera. So what I boiled it down to, man, I go NFL style, look at metrics. And when I see that my guy, outweighs their guy by 25, 30 pounds, I have to like my guy more. Now, heart, will, technique, all of that still comes into play. But at the end of the day, this is still physics. And 2 things moving at 20 miles per hour and one outweighs the other, you got to bet on the one that's heavier.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, don't you think that that's going to work when I come to Boulder? I'll tell you that much.
Chico,
I'm just saying.
You're a little too light to ask, Chico. It's just,
they used to say that when I got the 3-point stance at tight end my freshman year at UAB. Man, he too light in the ass, coach. All right.
And you like, nah, no, I ain't. This guy's got some weight to it. No.
I'm gonna show you my ass. Let me prove it.
Put that music on.
Put that 98% on.
throw that thing in a circle.
Play that music from the Blue Oyster Club.
Adam, real quick, Adam, I want to ask you, like, one of the
Adam was sitting there like, what the hell have I done with my Wednesdays? Like, what was I thinking?
Well, you guys had Rick George on last week, me the week before, and this week, so you got to rebrand here, White Boy Wednesdays.
He won.
You can have that confused face once a week on here. But didn't Ben Finiseth have like the music playlist on Wednesdays at some point?
He did. It was White Boy Wednesdays.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
He
all.
really did.
That's what
we've
I'm
had,
signing up for here.
We've had Derek on here too, so hey, I guess so.
Nice.
Speaking of playlists, the best playlist in Colorado was Coach Solomon, Chef Solomon. Ooh, He was going off in the cafeteria. Gap Band, Teddy Pendergrass. He was going crazy yesterday, man. That's why the food's so good, probably.
Cooked with a little soul.
I'll tell you, Adam. Let's talk about recruiting. Who's visiting for the Georgia Tech game, and where's Colorado sit with these guys?
Say it again. Sorry, you cut out.
I was saying, who's visiting for the Georgia Tech game, and where does Colorado sit with them?
So for the Friday night game, that's going to be tough because you've got obviously these prospects that have requirements that are going on with their high school team.
You're right.
Yeah, so there's going to be maybe a couple unofficial visitors, but it's not going to be a big recruiting weekend. You're going to see some more guys come in a little bit more when you get back to the traditional Saturday home games. Okay. It's always been tough. It's been great from a perception standpoint to have a Friday game on ESPN, which they've had the last few years. But from a recruiting standpoint, it kind of hurts you. Just, those guys are kicking out their season with their team. So you might have a couple guys, but nothing big. And then they'll get more into those big official weekends as we get a little bit further into the schedule.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I love that. Adam, let me ask you this from a historical standpoint. You've covered a lot of home openers at Folsom Field. We got this home and home deal with Georgia Tech. We'll go there next year. But as it relates to home openers, since you've been doing your thing, where does this one rate on the excitement meter?
Pretty high. A lot of those openers have come against Colorado State, and I'm sure you guys have kind of sensed from Colorado fans that they don't really like that as a rival, and there's a reason that Rick George has gone away from playing the Rams every year. And the reason they pulled out of playing in Denver, that the atmosphere had gotten kind of stale down there. It was kind of a good pregame tailgating scene, and you had both fan bases down there, but you really needed both teams to be good, I think, to be able to pull that off down in Denver. Colorado did host Texas A&M down in Denver back in 2021, and that was a pretty cool atmosphere. Although, fans started to get a little bit unruly late in the game, but it was, at least you had two teams with expectations going into that game down in Denver. Putting it back on campus was the right thing, but, there's always been this feeling, big brother, little brother feeling between CU and CSU. And that just never, it was like, let's get CSU out of the way so we can get into other things. It's been kind of the primary theme, or, there's been some FCS teams that have come in and, there's not a lot of excitement because it's like best case scenario, you blow them out. That's what everybody expected anyway. Worst case scenario, they play it close or you lose and it's a disaster. So
exactly.
That's why this opener stands out above most of the rest for sure.
And I'm sure that AD Rick George, we asked him about it when he was on last week for White Boy Wednesday. His experience on that selection committee, has got to aid tremendously in how he does his scheduling, because people are going to look at your strength of schedule. And they're going to look how often you play somebody, they play somebody. And so I think, this deal with Georgia Tech is going to bode well for us in that regard.
Yeah. I was going to say, kind of liking to the Colorado State-Colorado matchup or rivalry. Adam broke it down perfectly. You expected to blow them out, but if you lose, that kind of hurts you. And that's why I think if you go back to my home state, Alabama, it's not a lot of Alabamas playing UAB, Troy State. They only play Auburn in state, because if you mess around and play a UAB, Troy State, and you lose to them, you could lose some recruits to them. It does more damage losing to them than trying to help them and give them that game. So they'd rather play other teams out of state for those doozies, as Dukes called them back in the day.
Man, you just said that because you went to UAB. Auburn wasn't ducking no UAB.
First of all, I said Alabama. Second of all, Auburn was ducking UAB.
I knew that's where you was going. That's why I said that.
We had the best quarterback in the state at the time. You know what I mean? So Jason Campbell couldn't touch him. Brody Croyout couldn't touch him.
Hey, Cam couldn't touch who? Well, actually,
me.
Hold on.
Doug High School.
Let's talk.
Just be patient, Adam. They'll be done in a second. Just watch this.
Let's get out of this one. Okay, you're right, Chico.
Okay.
No, go ahead and finish it. We cool. We enjoy it.
No, it's all good. You're right, Chico. You were getting ducked.
Hey,
Cool.
we have a question from Wayne.
I know Jason Campbell from Mississippi. I know that, Chico.
Well, he wasn't the best quarterback in the state of Alabama at that time, and you had a guy at Alabama State named Tavares Jackson at the same time. So
do know that as well. Adam, I got to tell you, sometimes we have words on here that Chico doesn't understand. Chico having played at UAB, Deuce was trying to compliment him and said, "Man, I'm sure UAB, y'all had a tough season opener. Y'all probably faced a doozy." And Chico said, "Well, no, I don't know if it was a doozy, but we played Florida State." We like,
that's a lie.
That's a lie.
It's like, Chico, that's what a doozy is.
Like, who uses doozy? Come on, man.
I do want to ask you this: what position group are you looking to see? Are you most anxious about? Like someone that you didn't have a clear answer about going into the season, but in game one, you're thinking like, all right, I'm ready to see what they do under the lights.
Ooh, the linebackers, that should be a doozy of a unit this year. No, I didn't quite know what to expect with Reginald Hughes and with Martavius French, and it's great to see Jeremiah Brown stepped up. A year ago, I don't think we knew what Nakai Hill Green was going to be. He didn't start the opener, and so I'm kind of anxious to see how that group shakes out. Can Salter mature throughout this fall and develop into something? Will Mantrez Walker get in on special teams and maybe develop into something? I think down the road, Mantrez Walker can be a really good a good Mike linebacker, but it's going to take some development and maybe some just continuing to let his body improve from a sideline to sideline aspect, because he's kind of more of a thumper at this point. Who am I forgetting in there? I feel like there's one guy in that inside backers group.
Let me give you one that's often overlooked, Adam. Like we know Reggie Hughes is going to do his thing. We know French is going to do his thing. JB has been consistent in camp, but let me tell you a name for the chat to remember, because this is going to be a rotational linebacker group, and if he gets in the right situation, Sean Myers is going to make a name for himself. Okay. He's often out of the discussion because of the quote on big three. Jeremiah came from Jackson State with Coach Prime, so he's been there with Coach Hart. And then when you look at French and Hughes and their ability to communicate, and here's Sean, kind of a more quiet guy as far as locker room presence. But I'm telling you, the guy can straight out play. And I won't be surprised if he's like a sleeper defensive player of the game, because he makes the most of his opportunities.
Speaking of linebackers, I'm going to name Kylan Salter. Whether it's on special teams, you see him
Big Honey.
Hear his name called Big Honey, as they called him. You could hear that interview on Prime Parents. But I think whether he's in that rotation or not, you're going to hear his name called several times in the game. Just my hot take right there.
I'll say this: he's probably, when you talk about a prototype linebacker build, he's got it, brother. He's put together for sure.
Yep.
I'm going to go out here. I'm going to go out here and limb, man. I'm at the risk of sounding Chico. When it comes to Salt at linebacker, and it comes to Q Wiggins at DN, you'll find yourself just staring at them, man. These dudes are built like superhero action figures, like cartoon characters. Like, these are the two guys. Let them get off the bus first. When we're on a away game, like let the opposition see them first, and just take their damn heart and put fear into them, because these dudes are literally built like mythological heroes out of a comic book, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think another point on Sean Myers, came from North Alabama, had some injuries, and I saw someone in the chat asking about him. So if you guys remember Charles Kelly, the defensive coordinator, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, goes to Auburn last year, and this year he's the head coach at Jacksonville State. When you ask him about Sean Myers, he was saying that's somebody that may have been the missing piece, but he didn't think he was going to be able to get him to come to Jacksonville State. Like, if I could get him, I want him. Straight ball player. And so for me to hear that from Coach Kelly, I said, I just don't know if he's going to come to Group of Five. And to see Colorado get him, I was like, okay, well, he comes highly recommended, so I'm excited to see what he can do. Definitely somebody who they say was cerebral. always where he's supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
and ain't scared to stick his face in the fan with nobody.
Not at all. Not at all. Hey, y'all tuned into the morning run on this Hump Day Wednesday, aka White Boy Wednesday, as Adam has named it. We got like right at 800 watching live with us. So make sure y'all are hitting that like button. The like button is free, Chico. If
Yeah,
you're in
Scarlett
here,
Miller said.
you're enjoying it. And if you're enjoying it, hit the like button. And then why don't you just send out the link to somebody and say, hey, check out this awesome damn show. We appreciate everybody who tunes into the morning run Monday through Friday live. So we'll be back Thursday, Friday as well. But Adam. You know, this home opener, now season 3 of Coach Prime. You know, gone are the big splashes, big names of Shador Sanders, Cameron Zimmerman, Craig, Travis Hunter, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like you, man. I'm looking forward to somewhere between the start of the game and the first half. Who's going to be the new name to emerge that now all the Buffs want to go follow and everybody, you know, is retweeting because they made a play. Someone's going to break out in this game and make themselves a household name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you put a gun to my head. I think DeKeelan Taylor is pretty high on that list as a possibility.
Good call. Good call.
We remember what Dylan Edwards with a similar skill set did a couple of years ago in Colorado's opener.
I like that, Adam. Good call. I'm gonna lay a bet of 5 with you on that one because he makes explosive plays at practice, and like Coach Prime, his head coach says, I don't think I'm going to see it in game unless I see it at practice. And what I've seen Trackhawk do, aka Shoat Dog, as well as Isaiah Harts, like people have stopped talking about him like they were a year or two ago, and he's still out there making big plays.
Yeah, you're gonna see him all over the field. Could see him offense, defense, in the backfield, in the slot, special teams, wherever. Isaiah Harts is that Swiss Army knife playmaker. Let's do some hot takes before we get up out of here. Then, what would be your hot take, Dukes, Adam? 3 good-looking guys on this show, and we got Uncle Neely. What would be your hot takes for this Friday?
Oh, wait.
Your hot takes,
But it sounds like I don't like your subject verb agreement and your pregnated pause and your dangling participles. You said 3 good-looking guys and Uncle Neely.
You said be factual today, right? So we got me, Adam, Dukes, and then we got Uncle Neely. So let's go.
Chico.
Come on,
Adam,
man.
Excuse me.
Doubly blessed twin mommy. Put that up, Chico.
Chico, I'm gonna whoop
you got a message. You got a message, Chico. You got a message,
where's that?
Chico a hater, bro. Put that up so he can see it.
What, this?
No, the other one. Go. You always forget it, bro. You always miss it. There you go. Can't get it. There you go, You don't need Chico to like you. Hey,
Uncle Show receive it too. Sitting on over here, whatever it is.
Hey, hot take.
All the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hot take. Michael Welch to break a long run. I saw him yesterday in practice. I don't know if he lost weight, but man, he I saw a couple of runs yesterday. Uncle Neely saw as well, man. Michael Welch looked explosive as well. So I'll say, man, I got Michael Welch with at least one run over 25 yards.
Comment to that, Dukes. It's amazing. He has lost weight, but he's actually gained weight. He dropped a lot of that body fat and put on muscle. So he looks smaller, but he's heavier than he was last year.
Oh,
wow. And he doesn't mind initiating that contact, man. Marshall Falk, his running back coach, said, I literally have had to learn how to coach him. You know, my style, the style I teach, is avoidance. And I have to remember he wants it. So what I teach him is, here's how, if you want it to secure the ball, here's how you angle your shoulder to prevent injury, because trying to coach him out of bowling ball and somebody, it ain't gonna happen. That's what he wants to do. So I like that, Dukes. Adam, I'm gonna go with Chico. I'm gonna go with special teams, and I'm gonna look for the true freshman Q for 6 to make some noise if they kick that thing to him.
Like that.
Well, the last couple of years have been very almost cinematic covering this team. It's felt like covering a movie. So the most cinematic thing I can think of for this opener is Alejandro Mata with a game winner to win 31-30 at Folsom Field. And hopefully he's got his celebration lined up and ready to go.
I like that one, Adam.
Yeah,
hey,
like that too. Chico
with a game winner versus a team from his home state. That'll be huge right there. He said he hit 3 game winners in high school to win championships. I don't think the pressure will get to him. Like Mata said, you can't ice, right, Unc?
Can't ice.
So, hey, I'll say this. My hot take would be, as I've been given last couple of weeks, is let's go with 150 rushing yards from the Buffs on the night. So I don't know how many times we did that last season or the past 2 seasons, but 150 rushing yards between Welch, Taylor, and Salter is what I'm going with.
We do that, we absolutely win the game.
We're running the damn ball, coach. We're coming in with the attitude to run the ball and to stop the run.
Well, Adam, one of the worst kept secrets, Coach Prime tried to suggest that QB1 Salter was a worst kept secret. Everybody should have known. The other worst kept secret is, as he led off with the press conference in every statement since the spring, is that we're going to run the ball. Pat Shermer hasn't shied away from it. He hasn't shied away from it. So, Chico, I'm telling you, as far as it relates to moving the chains, staying ahead of the change, clock management, this team getting 150 on the ground, it is going to be hard to defeat us, because this defense under Rob Livingston, if you put the offense in a position where they got to throw the ball and these guys have stopped the run and now earned the right to rush the quarterback, it's going to be a long night for any opponent if all that comes together.
Yes,
you had to do what you had to do the last couple of years based on personnel, but the offensive line not only being so much more talented and deep, just having that momentum, you gain so much confidence, I feel like, as an offensive lineman when you have those drives where you kind of impose your will on the other team. And that, I think, is going to have a really big just mental influence on this offensive line group. There were some talented guys on the O-line the last couple of years, not all 5 together at the same time, but at times that confidence, it felt like got shattered. And I don't think that's going to be the case this year, because you're going to be able to do exactly that.
Yeah. That's what the O-line wants, to lean on the defensive line. Give us something so that the defensive line just don't pin their ears back and look to get after the quarterback. You keep them on their heels a little bit. That's very helpful for the offensive line to get some holes for the running backs and to push those guys backwards. And if you do that against Georgia Tech coming into that altitude, that could gas those guys for the long haul. So start off the game running the ball and see if you can get some openings there and keep it going from there.
Love it. Chico, today we did a little focus on Georgia Tech's offense. Tomorrow we're going to be talking Georgia Tech's defense. And on Friday, just the overall game plan and what it's going to take to win. This is the Morning Run, coming at you 5 days a week, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Adam has been with us as he will every Wednesday. But I think after the day, Adam, you can come back whenever the hell you want to, because you started off with a bang.
Well, Dukes, again, there was no offense meant there. I'm going to say you are very fleet of foot going forward. I've learned my lesson here today.
He came into that meeting. He came into that meeting real fleet of foot too, into the press conference.
What'd you say?
I said you came into the press conference pretty fleet of foot also.
Man, you know what was crazy? I was holding the door for Draylon Miller and didn't realize the press conference was going on. And my man Hearn was like, "All right, dude, you just coming with me?" I was like, "Where we going?" He was like, "Oh, come on." I was like, "Dang, man!" So I didn't even realize what was going on. So I just tried to creep in. So I tried to put the one up like in church.
So Adam, from Adam's vantage point, he sits kind of diagonal to me, and then he's diagonal to that door that you came in. Adam, did you happen to catch Coach Prime's face when somebody walked in late?
No, I did not. No.
He was looking around and kind of paused with the door, but like, man, who is this mofo coming here late? And like, boy, Dukes, you better be glad it's you, because well, you better be glad it's somebody from out of town, because if you were local walking in here late.
Oh man, I ain't know. I had no idea. But nah, man, it was fun, man. It's a good time. Every time I come out to Colorado, it's been a good time, and just the energy in the program, the energy on campus. You can feel it at the airport. I mean, and even though the airport is a few miles away, you can tell it's football season. Great energy. And so now every time I go, it's like a little mini movie. So if the game is the movie, that's part of the series. So always a good time. And I think that's one of the things that helps Colorado recruit, is because when you get out there, you can feel the electricity. So it's always fun.
Absolutely. So y'all check us back now tomorrow, the Morning Run. Dukes, I think you got some of the CU aunties tonight.
Yeah. See you aunties tonight at 8.
So check out Dukes with that Morning Run tomorrow, Uncle Chico tomorrow night, then Morning Run game day back on Friday, and it's officially game day then. So we'll probably do something from Folsom Field as the game is going to kick off later that night. Adam, we appreciate you as always on this Wednesday, and we'll see you Wednesday after next back on the morning run. Chico, land that plane.
Adam, once again, appreciate you, big dog. We're gonna let you get up out of here as we land the plane because who knows how long this is gonna take. All right, guys. For the Frontier Airlines segment, Spirit Airlines, whoever holler at me first, y'all can get this. Boom.
They get this.
Get this segment right here.
Oh, God.
Uncle Neely the one handing out this, that, and everything else. All right. TMR Live.
Chico, we're gonna do you like Ralph. We're gonna do you like Ralph. Hey, we need a new Chico. We need Chico too. Somebody in the chat, hit us up if y'all want to replace Chico. Hit us up. We gonna send his ass to the ranch.
What up, Smuggles?
Ralphie, like, man, y'all just don't know. I did that so I could stay on the ranch. I ain't want to be running on no damn football field.
Chico, let me tell you a true story. Hey, Ford Carlton Miller, appreciate that. 4 more to 350 likes. So we're gonna definitely hang on till we reach that. 4 more to 350. If you haven't liked, go ahead and like. Chico, let me tell you. Here's something I learned early in life. Me and my brother would have to rotate on who time for dish duty. It didn't take long. I realized if I broke my mom would cuss me out, just send me on.
Like it's like you don't do no more dishes.
What? Oh boy, you cold-blooded. Oh boy, you cold-blooded, boy.
I would make sure she was around and let her hear that glass breaking and say, "Boy, damn boy, move! I got it here."
Yep.
Breaking my damn dishes.
I did that unintentionally. I would be trying my best to wash the dishes and put them up there. My mom would come in there the next morning like, who washed the dishes? I did. I'm all happy.
Proud.
Well, look at it. This ain't clean. That ain't clean. This ain't clean. Don't wash my dishes no more. Like, oh, that well. Man,
thank you.
I thank you, but I tried. But thank you though.
That what Ralphie did in that bowl game. Ralph was like, okay, I see how to get out this shit.
Ralphie wasn't with it. Ralphie said, I ain't with it.
Ralphie got a story. Boy, I started hearing that story. I was like, whoa.
Oh, man, like for real, I read that on Adam's article. I was like, man, Ralphie has been down through there, man. Was in a wildfire, orphan, mother killed, raised by a cow.
Raised by a cow? Like, what type of story is that, dog? That's cold, man.
Ralphie's supposed to retire, man.
And the question is, like, who picked that one to be the Ralphie to run out? Because if it's not raised by buffaloes, how you expect him to? Come on now, y'all see what I'm going with this. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know, Chico. I don't know.
How do you?
But just look, Chico, rewind that one back a little bit. I'm gonna show y'all something. So you see where Ralphie about to come from is like literally the back of the end zone.
Right.
Like
right
it's off the field, right?
Yep.
In my again 2 seasons, I didn't seen them move that gate from the back of the end zone to the end zone to the 5 to the 10. Last year, Ralphie started like on the 20 and still wasn't like, nah, I ain't with it.
Hold on. This is the fun. Man, look, man, what Unc was saying that the first time, I was trying so bad to hold it together. Because I know my partner. Uncle Neely was like, yeah, he started for the 5. He said he started in the end zone. Then he went to the 5. He went to, I said I was trying to hold it together. I said, man, I started looking off into space. Because I was finna crack up, man, because it sounded, matter of fact, let me not say that. Respect to Ralphie. Man, no jokes.
Most respect to Ralphie. Yeah, most respect to Ralphie. But I'm telling you, this one I knew it was over last season, dude. It was before BYU. Typically, no matter what they would start at, when they opened the gate, Ralphie would come out the gate. One of them last home games, they opened the gate, Ralphie looked like, and then walked out the gate. So I was like, okay, this is a wrap. This is a wrap.
Hey man, you know, I was thinking. I would tell y'all what I was thinking. Oh, so we don't get taken off here. I'll tell y'all.
All right. We right at the top of our hour, Chico. Right at 60 minutes. We did it.
Yes,
shout out to
are.
the over 800 that joined us live. If you're watching this on replay, make sure you make comments there as well when it ends or later on. That's the big dog Chico cam right there.
Yeah, the atmosphere is what it is, man.
I might do that Saturday, Chico. Friday. I've yet to go in the stands. I've never been in the stands of Folsom.
You might not be able to walk through it like I did. Like a couple of people recognize me, but if you walk through
Hey
there,
man,
man,
what
you might get
what you
you
said to
might get
him?
mauled.
Hmm.
Man, you know what I said too. I was messing with him, dog.
What you say?
I guess I gotta bring it back.
Nice short pants.
Well, I don't even know if I want to play it with y'all on here because y'all gonna think it's freaky or something.
No, I said.
I just hold up. I guess y'all can play it so y'all can hear it now.
Oh, sorry.
God no, man. That's right. That's right. Oh, you know what? Let me pause it right there. Y'all see this? See this right? This is just me and my marketing mind. Y'all see that blank space right there on this wall?
There should be something there.
It should be some there. It
Even
could
if it's a
what
picture of former players, like it should be something right there.
right. I'm thinking though, it could be one of those, what do you call those? QR codes to
Mhm.
where you can follow all the players, you can follow the team on social media. It's something
Why you
interactive there.
you had Rick George on last week? Why didn't you say nothing?
Well, you know what? I actually had that written to say something, but maybe I'll say something to him. But I'm saying something right now then. People listening right now. So can't nobody steal it. We on live right now. This is Big Dog Chico
I
idea.
know you're gonna take that bass out your voice. You respond to me. I know that.
What you gonna do?
I'm a
Cletus?
pause. I'm gonna break your ass like I broke my mama dishes. What I'm gonna do?
Shit, coach. And I'm gonna come in there with a vintage like your mama did. With a vintage like, hey, I'm whooping tail today. Anyways, Duke.
They told Chico he was too light now. He said, no.
Now that's your response. So I'll throw it in the circle. Boy, you
Oh,
ain't
Oh, now. What's happening, baby? How you doing? Already.
So if you walk through there, you have been stopped by there now. By now, dog. You would have been Uncle Neely.
Why you change your voice?
Yeah, that's how it'll be. Uncle Neely. But yeah, I think there's a lot of places in the stadium for some engagement spots, some picture taking areas,
Hey Chico,
different things
rewind
like
back
that.
just a little bit. Rewind back just a little bit.
Oh, here we go. What you see?
It's a man standing under some steps right there. Let's see what he look like. Hey, y'all. Hey, you ever leave your mama house? She stand on the steps watching you pull out the driveway.
Only Unc notices this, dog.
Hey,
That's why we got to do a reaction show, something like this, man. Only Unc would notice this.
Hey, boy, that's a reaction show.
That's a reaction show for your ass. Sorry, man. We don't know who you are,
Shout
dog.
out to that guy.
Oh man.
Like, yeah, let me watch him drive off. We get over to he gonna stay watching that car till he get over the hill.
One day I'm gonna get right like you, man. I'm gonna get buff like you. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get right.
Oh my God.
One day. You feel me, dog? Never air an opportunity. How you doing?
This man right here.
What I do wrong, huh?
You stared that man up and down and said, I'm gonna be buff like you.
I just want to give him some
Boy, you
positive.
What?
Some positive thoughts.
Hey, man.
Hey, who do y'all think gonna be on the sidelines this year?
I don't know. Let me give her pretty Tony. See, I'll find out for tomorrow. After the game, said Chico muscle watching.
I watched that Chico, boy.
I almost broke my ankle stepping off the thing right there.
They gotta be selling them around here somewhere, right?
Oh yeah, shout out to Jasmine Neal in the chat. Today is the 27th, Chico, so that means it's restock day for Uncle Neely's beard oil. You can get the trifecta. You get that bundle package. Jazz, type in the chat like the website.
Facebyjazz.com. Facebyjazz.com. Put it in there.
Yeah, she got a nice little bundle for the men out there. Stuff for your skin, your beard, all that kind of stuff. You can just get the oil, or you can get the pack. And you know that's when I get excited when the pack touchdown.
She says she only get excited when that pack touchdown. All right, we're gonna land the plane right here. Shout out to Miss Constance. Shout out to Sam, Gilly, Wallow, and the whole crew.
Chico, you had the meta glasses on, or you had a camera?
No, I had the camera, but I should have the glasses. You that would have been fire. I'm gonna have the glasses.
I'm glad you didn't have the glasses because ain't no telling what we'd have seen you looking at on that man that you said he buff.
Oh man.
That was just a shout out to that dude, man. He probably went the rest of his day like, yeah.
Smuggler's KB said you almost twisted your ankles looking at muscle.
But Chico out here flirting.
Wow. Wow.
You go, what I tell you about pitching Woo on the job?
Okay.
I'm talking about my bad, Chico, man. We got 400 likes, man. Shut up, man. Land the plane.
We got 400 likes. All right, great. We can go home now. Y'all know what to do, man. Hit that like, subscribe, comment. Thank y'all for coming out. This is the morning run. That is Wallow on here.
Hey, boy, you start out with that Lucky Charm, didn't he? My bad. Go ahead.
I did start out with the Lucky Charm.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
And Gilly was spitting all over my mic. Pause.
Whoa! Land the plane! Land the plane! I gotta go.
Talking about me? Man, we're going to get up and up out of here, man. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Have a great day. For Uncle Neely, Big Dog Chico, and for the blank spot over there, we up and up out of this thing. Peace in the Middle East. This has been another episode of
That blank spot got a name.
The Morning Run.
Per Adam, he's a ninja.
Ninja dude.
It's Ninja here. Claude,
that boy Adam said, I don't usually say ninja.
Morning Run. We out. UBG.